Hi, Heather.
Hi, Nikki.
How are you?
Really good. Really
So,
good. Nice to see
so-
you.
yes, I'm so glad you could hop on with me. Um, I know you're aware we're gonna just chat a little bit about um, NLP and kind of your business, maybe a little bit about your background. Let's first just introduce yourself.
Yeah. So I'm Heather Klein, and I came to know Nikki and and work with Nikki several years ago. I guess two or 3 years ago, when we both embarked on our neuro linguistic programming training with Karen Kessler.
Yes.
And ever since then, um, we've been back and forth and chatting and doing projects and practicing and doing all kinds of things. It's been a huge support for me along the way on this journey, because this is kind of a new journey for me. I started this in 2018, and before that I had spent 30 years in education, first as a teacher for 25 years, and then as a school principal for 5 years. And when I finished that part of my life and thought that I was going to retire, um, I, from the help with the help of a friend, she made it clear to me that maybe I should be doing something with all of the, skills that I had acquired and some of the experiences that I'd had, and really it would be very good to continue um, into something else that was different, but still using and developing the skills. And so this friend explained to me about the neurolinguistic programming course, and that's what I did. That's what I decided to do. Yeah,
So glad we did it at the same time.
yeah, me too, Nikki. Me too.
What so you explained a lot there why you decided to take NLP practitioner level first. What I know you have done the master's level as well. Can you talk a little bit about what encouraged you to kind of continue on that neurolinguistic programming and do the master's as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, when we finished our what we call prac, that first level of NLP, I mean, it just, the whole thing was so fascinating, and the potential for it was so clear. Yeah, exactly. That you really couldn't. You knew that you were only just starting the journey, so
That's
you
true.
knew you had to keep going. And what made it easier to keep going was that I had the same instructor. It was actually in the same location where we were training, and it just was an easy, transition into the next level of master prac. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. What surprised you about NLP and like what did you get out of it?
Oh my God. From the first class that we had, um, I would say I was hooked, fascinated, um, confused, uh, yeah, like, just it was absolutely intoxicating to figure out the relationship between our conscious mind and our unconscious mind, and all of the ramifications of that, even just that concept, and how we can change our reality, our experiences, our emotions, and that kind of thing, by this deep understanding of the unconscious mind as it relates to the conscious mind. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, and reference to the unconscious mind and the conscious mind. We knew we were only hitting the tip of that iceberg.
That's right. Oh, we just knew that we were onto something really big, and we were just at the very beginning stages of it. Yeah.
For
I
sure.
still feel that way in a lot of ways. Every time I work with clients, every time I do another training, every time I talk to someone like you, Nikki, a fellow practitioner, it just goes deeper and deeper into an understanding of what the potential is for these techniques.
For me, I agree. Like for me, it's been this idea of constant learning. Like
Yeah.
this is an area of um that I don't believe I will ever be an expert in. Like I feel like there's
Right.
just so much more that I can continue to like graduate, and as we create this community and I reach out, I realize how many places and in the world it can be applied to. And I think that's really fascinating as I get really stuck in my counseling, mindset. And it just, to me, it's coaching and it's counseling, but it's being applied in so many areas and so many businesses. And it's truly just a perspective change of the world, right?
Yeah, what a good way to say it. Yeah, it's just a change in perspective. It's just it's a whole other world opened up from from a different perspective. Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's right.
self-awareness. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
has this made changes? I know you were talking about, that you are doing coaching and so how has this made changes in your world, personal and professional?
Wow. That's, you know, that'd be a cool question to ask my family because they're fascinated by this whole change of career or work direction. Um, and for me, it feels completely different. There's no stressful days. There are no stressful days. There's just more opportunities for learning, and you come across something and you realize that you'd like to learn a little bit more about something, and so away you go and you start the research. But it's not stressful. It's not like uh, oh, it's just every day you feel like you're helping people, and every day it feels like they're helping me because they
So
remind the things,
true.
yeah, the stuff that they learn or remember or come across, their eurekas are my eurekas or my reminders of
It's a
eurekas that I had.
reciprocal, yeah.
You get it, eh? Like you really
Yes.
get it. It's just a back and forth. There's no giving out energy and not getting it back. It's so unique that way. So that's a great question. I hadn't thought about it as until just now. It's very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I think back, and it was, I mean, it was, feels like forever ago, but only about 3.5 years ago that we did our training. And I just can't fathom the amount of changes, and mostly personal. It started very personal. Started in my own kind of mindset. It changed personally for me, and then it changed the people directly around me. And now I kind of see that ripple effect happening, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah.
impacting and creating more change. Um, a topic I'd love to talk. I know in your position, in your past jobs as well, you've always kind of had this leadership quality about you. Um, Probably way before you were even in the as a teacher and a principal. It was probably something that just came so naturally to you. That's how I feel, anyways.
Yeah.
Um, what is your idea about influence? Like, what does influence mean? Let's just talk about that real quick.
Yeah, these are really interesting things to think about. So I think in my first career of education, I would, if someone had asked me that question, I would have thought that influence is motivating people to work towards a shared vision. Uh, and I think that's kind of how I rolled in that part of my life, was just trying to motivate people towards a shared vision of what we determined to be important. Now, I now it's not completely the opposite. It's not that, but it's completely different. Being an influencer is about revealing people's innate wisdom that they didn't even know was there, you know?
Right.
Uh, and I completely trust that now, having worked with enough clients and having embarked on this NLP venture and a technique you're familiar with, the timeline therapy. Um, to influence is just to be the person who facilitates that wisdom. Yeah, that wisdom
Yeah.
coming out and then able to be used by the client, but me too. I get to use it too. It's like,
True.
yeah, sometimes we have a joke where someone will come up with this incredible, positive learning. You know that from our technique, this beautiful positive learning. And I feel in my head, it's like there needs to be a microphone drop, it's just like, boom, there it is. And gonna write that one down and put it in my journal so I can read that to
Yeah.
myself. And it's just the influencing is about revealing the wisdom that was always there, but it just didn't have an avenue for coming through.
So I'm curious because I think that you had a great influence probably with using both perspectives. But which one would you say has the biggest impact, or maybe um has the least resistance? Maybe that's a
Oh,
good put it.
nice. Definitely doing this work. Definitely doing this work. That's there's that's where you get the energy from. And that's where there's no depletion of energy as the person who's facilitating that. Um, it's just to use an overused word, it's like so organic. Like you
Mhm.
just sit and wait. And it doesn't matter what I think is what they need. It doesn't matter what I think the perfect words are that they need to hear. Just wait for them to do it. So yeah, this is just so much easier. It's so much more efficient. Like we're not messing around or taking any time doing things that maybe somebody else's are useful to somebody else. It's just directly useful for this person. Yeah, that's
Sure.
cool. That's a neat thing
I have
to.
to agree. I mean, in the counseling field, we thrive on, talking it out, and that can be exhausting in itself. And they have to relive, that
Right.
situation, and or trauma. We have to then hear about it and feel that trauma that comes along with, trying to help somebody out of it. What I find so impactful is this direct idea, right? Where we skip all the painful part of it, but we get right down to the root causes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm inspired by watching you, and you're flourishing in your business, and you're always a huge inspiration to me. So thank
Thanks,
you so
Nikki. You've been
much.
a real partner along the way, haven't you?
I love working beside you. Well, thank you so much.
You're
Is there
so
anything you wanted
welcome.
to add? Anything?
No, but this has just been great. Really, really enjoyable and interesting things to think about that I haven't
Right?
really thought about. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Heather.
Yeah. Thanks, Nikki. Thank you.